All right, we now welcome on All-American. The list goes on and on. G League scoring record, is that right? Still a thing?
Yeah, still a thing.
Russ Smith, Jersey and the Raptors in Louisville. Obviously, got some new stuff going on with the Bourbon, Mr. and Mrs. Bourbon. That's a name, right? I got it right?
Absolutely.
All right, love that. Russ, it is a literal lifelong dream as a lifelong Louisville fan to have you on. So
appreciate you having me. Yeah, I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Oh, anytime, man. So first of all, let's get this going. So, what you got? A 30-stop Liquor Barn tour coming? Is that right?
Yeah,
so,
just about.
You're here. You're back in town. We got the TBT coming to Freedom Hall. That's a $1 million basketball tournament. That's been going on for like almost a decade now, and you all have quite the stacked lineup. Very 2013 championship E. How do you feel to be back? And tell me about your new venture here.
It obviously feels great to be back home here in Kentucky. I've called this my home since I finished school. I think, I finished up in Italy not long ago, so coming back here is definitely always fun. But being in the south of Italy, Puglia was a lot of fun too. That was pretty dope.
Sure, different.
It's sad to leave, but as far as the bourbon goes, I've been in this industry about 7 years, I'd say, and been working on the brand for about 4.5, and we've been on the market for 2. So it's been fascinating. A bunch of cool people. So I'm really happy.
Yeah, it's a long time. I know it's been a thing for it seems like 2 years now, but
Right.
Kentucky does seem like a good state to be involved bourbon-wise.
Yeah, I feel like you gotta be.
No, it's how'd you get into it?
So this is short story long, really. We when I was growing up, being out of New York, besides basketball, I was always a fan of the entertainment industry. So as you can imagine, New York, you got Jay-Z, you have 50 Cent, and you have Diddy. They obviously do liquor a different way.
Yep.
But when I got to Louisville, and I'm having fun in college, and the nightlife and the drink life is different in college.
Sure.
You're doing more shooters. It's a lot more shots of tequila, or it's fireballs, or it's bombs. It's
Of course.
Yeah, it's chaos, right? But after college, I got a chance to meet some people, that do things with the university, do things around the city, some businessmen, and a lot of times we were at the bar talking, they were drinking bourbon,
Yep.
and it was always an insightful, good conversation. I never blacked out,
Right.
and from there, one thing led to another. It piqued my interest of choosing this kind of spirit, and this is bourbon whiskey is Kentucky, and it really just made sense on top of me really enjoying the spirit.
Yeah, no, I mean it's something that is everywhere, and you're right. Especially, I know you probably still go out around Louisville occasionally.
Right. Yeah.
You see more people. I feel like in this city, in between the ages of 21 and like 33, than some other cities where it's like, where do I go to find people that are like younger that are going to party and stay out late? And
Right.
There's a lot more of that in this city. So liquor becomes a big deal. And the name, where'd you get the name from?
So the name for me is actually really simple. The Mr. is me, and the Mrs. is everything that I fell in love with when I came here to Kentucky.
Awesome.
So it's hoop, it's the tradition, it's the basketball, and my lady made the label.
Sure.
So the was behind the drawing behind it. So this was is that simple.
Yeah, no, I'm married to the game, and now the bourbon.
Right,
So
yep,
in your case,
absolutely.
it's actually good.
It's
For
great.
Some people, it's like bad if they're married to a version of alcohol.
Right.
So no, that's awesome, and it's funny that you say like thinking about New York and everything, and you say names like Diddy and Jay-Z and 50 Cent, and you've kind of built yourself a brand here,
Right.
where your name rings that same bell for people in Louisville that their names ring in New York, and I'm sure that has to be a great feeling.
Absolutely, it's an amazing feeling, and I just want to make sure that it's always positive each encounter I have with the person.
Yeah, and I mean it's important too. I mean, obviously last year you get your jersey hung up there. That's got to be really cool, and that probably connects you more to the city than possibly ever.
Right.
My name's up there forever.
Right, and and plus too, just the compound on that, like the number. I was telling my buddies the other day, like The jersey is, it happens occasionally, but the number is, I mean, think about it. Like, there's a bunch of people that's going to come here and they'd not get to wear number 2. So that's pretty awesome.
No, it's so funny. I've had season tickets to little basketball since I was way young, and I was thinking, doing the interview today and kind of watching old highlights, and I watched this video where it was, some of your high school highlights.
Yeah.
There, and you could tell you have a ton of game, but you're smaller out there.
Right.
And I remember me and my dad were at the first game, the season or whatever, and we see you warming up, and we're like, "Who's 24?" Who's 24? I don't know anything about him. But it's really funny how you go from that where you're like looking at your program, like Russ Smith, cool, Connecticut, oh, awesome. Hey, maybe he's gonna be good.
Maybe, who knows?
And then suddenly all American, absolutely spectacular. But no, it's cool. And with this, I guess, what's kind of your end game? Just to build that major brand to get everywhere?
Yeah, man, because honestly, basketball, you get a short shelf life. I mean, some people are done at 30, others 35, some 40, others done even sooner. Yeah. And I've always prepared for life after basketball, even when I was in school. Because like you said, I wasn't playing. Yeah. My first year and a half, I wasn't in the cards. And then guys got hurt, and then I had to play. And starting the next season, somebody got in trouble, and then I had to start. And then coach was just like, you know what, we're playing good. We're just going to roll with Russ in the starting lineup. And then next thing you know, I'm getting drafted. And it's like that was never in the cards. So I always had plans to do something, extraordinary off the court. And I think this here is a passion of mine that I can do forever, and until I croak.
Yeah, no, it makes sense, and not a lot of people are doing this. It does seem like something where it's like, oh, Russ Smith has a bourbon now. You just don't hear that about hardly anything around the city. Obviously, in that industry, there's new things coming out, and there's things that you have to compete with. But it's hard for anybody in Louisville to compete with the name Russ Smith when it comes to this. And are you trying to kind of build that brand across the United States?
Absolutely, man. And I've actually taken it a step further. Like, people may not know how hands-on I am, and they've asked me about other athletes and their brands and stuff, and I'm like, dude, I handle dry, wet, supply chain, like branding, design. Like, please don't, disrespect me comparing me to somebody else
that just has their name on something.
Right, like that's not what I'm doing. And I've actually been working on this for a long time, and we actually are planning on moving out of the state. We're going into the DMV area. We've just got a call from New York. We're in Kentucky and Ohio right now, and then we're working with Tennessee, figuring out their distribution system. It could be tricky, and then we're going to Missouri. So we have some plans, and our eyes are big right now, but we just got to make sure that our eyes aren't bigger than our stomach or liver.
Sure, and that does seem to be like what can be different about it, right? Because you are hands-on. You like really, really care.
I'm really doing this. Yeah, and
right.
this is like a second passion of mine. I'm taking this thing seriously. Even my whole process of tasting and bringing everything to market, it was very keen and strategic, and I think we executed really well.
Yeah. Have you gotten any support from people around here that you want to shout out or anything?
Oh, man, absolutely. First and foremost, I think a lot of these major companies within the industry and people within the industry has helped me. I don't know where to start, honestly, but I know for sure Peerless helped me. Carson and Corky and those guys. Andrew Kosovan, Drew, dear friend of mine at Willett, really educated me on the industry. I'm a very close friend. Wes Henderson of Angels Envy was always asking of ways that he can help me. Brown Foreman is and with Elizabeth McCall and Mark Bacon, those guys have been great. Helping me and just letting me understand, just giving me a feel of the corporate world in the industry, and even more like Mr. Jay Blue. That's my guy. Jay Blue has helped me, and it's it's just been really wholesome and supportive. If I'm missing anybody, then then I apologize. But all those guys have been helpful.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a lot. And if they are Louisville Cardinal fans, you probably helped them at some point too. With some sort of happiness or some claps here and there. I did want to talk, some about your Louisville career, right? So I was watching a video on you today, and it was like after his freshman year, considered transferring and everything. Could you talk about that a little? Like, what made you want to stay?
Nah, but maybe what made me want to stay. Like I told you, we like when I got here, I was just like, you know what? I get to play basketball. There's like 3 McDonald All-Americans on our team, and I'm just happy to be around them, especially Peyton. Like, I'm fanboying. Peyton's cold. So I'm fanboying, and then I just love to be around that environment. Coming from where I came from, no scholarship offers. I'm at Louisville, big school, Hall of Fame coach. I'm like, I'm gonna just stay here, Wow. But then a part of me did want to play, and I was like, man, I kind of want to play, but the end game kept me here. The end game was under Patino, maybe I can coach, or maybe I can get into an industry somehow with his help, because he's helped many people before. And Coach P's one of the guys that helped me too, but that's kind of what kept me, honestly. And I was just, you know what, if I'm not playing in practice, I'm gonna just go play basketball at the SAC, at the Student Center, and get my reps in that way.
It's a cool answer too, because you see that a lot, guys that maybe are on the end of the bench, like their goal is to be a grad assistant and then move up coaching wise, and then maybe you see them in the SRC and you're like, oh my God, this dude lights up. Everybody in here,
he's killing them.
And he sits there, and then you're having an off night, and like, put Dylan Avar in. What are we doing?
What are we doing? Right.
I've seen that guy. He doesn't miss.
Yeah.
Right. It's cool that you had that take too, because it has to be different. Anybody that's sitting on a college basketball bench dominated their prior level of competition.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's like the guy at the end of the bench in the NBA. It's like, all right, that guy can sit there for 35, 40 games.
Yeah.
You got, like, I remember, I don't know if this is a good example, but I remember I'm watching the game. I'm like, yo, why are they not playing Brandon Jennings? Like, he was
a man on 2K.
He's the best. He's the best guard on the team. In my head, and he, and rightfully so at that level in the league. Guys are, but when you don't see them play, it's like, it's weird, but
it's a small percentage of the population.
Right.
But it is crazy, like dudes at the end of the bench in the NBA, and they're like, they search their name on Twitter. They like finally get in and go 0 for 3. Like, this dude's trash.
Yeah, it's so unfair.
You all don't understand.
It's so unfair.
There's only like 300 of them. So. No, it's cool. I remember the infrared year. So you're what, sophomore at this time, and you all make this giant run. My favorite game was the Michigan State game where it ended Draymond Green's college career. Right. And that first half, I don't know if you remember this, but we, as a team, I think had made like 7 shots, and they were all threes.
Yeah.
And we were like 3 or 4 from the 3-point or the free throw line. And I think you had a couple of them. And Gorgie steps out and hits a 3, and they interview Izzo at halftime, and he's like, Zhang hasn't made a shot all year. I don't know what's going on. And it was such a funny run. Do you remember anything about that team?
Yeah, that was the most fun I had in college, by far. More fun than the next year, more fun than my senior year.
Really?
Yeah, that 2012 year was a lot of fun because I had nothing. I had nothing to lose for the first 3 years.
Yeah.
So the 2012 when I started playing, all the coaches were like, "All right, Russ, you're starting to play now. We're gonna take you serious. What are you doing? After 8 o'clock. What are you doing as far as your sleep schedule?" And
they're worried about it now.
Yeah, now you're worried about it. Listen, dude. I'm with frats and sororities, and I'm with my boy Slime. Like we're
a college student.
Yeah, I'm a college student. Not even an athlete. Nobody was worried about me before before that. Don't worry about me now. I'll come to every game. I'll be there. But that was that year. Like I was just having fun, man. And then we got to the tournament. We're in Portland having fun. I'm in Arizona having fun, and it was just great. Then we got to New Orleans. I'm on Bourbon Street. My birthday's a week after, so I'm trying to get in bars. I'm showing them, hey, I'll turn 21, in 6 days.
I swear. Let me in.
Let me in. Like,
I'm playing at the Dome.
Yeah, we just played, and then that was great. And then the environment was cool because we played UK. So by far that was the best run. And then coming back, turned 21 that week, and this when 4th Street was a lot of fun, and I crowd surfed the whole damn 4th Street. Like,
I bet. Now you're like,
yeah,
people get it now.
Yeah.
They know I can do it. Yeah, I was at the Final Four against Kentucky in New Orleans, and that was tough. Siva hit a 3, I think, and we had like taken the first lead of the second half.
Right.
We're here, and I turned around to like say something to all these Kentucky fans, and then before I could turn back around, Kid Gilchrist had laid it up. So that was unfortunate. But we did, bounce back. So the next season you go into it, and it's like you're expected to be great.
Right.
And the whole team is. They're incredibly deep, and it's like Luke Hancock, Wayne Black. It's like you have a starter coming off the bench at almost every position group, especially with Ware and Montrezl Harrell and all that. What's that like going out there knowing like these guys are not messing with us? Anybody that you're playing?
Nah, it was amazing because it was like we all had the chemistry, so we knew that that we should win every game. We knew that, but sometimes you don't win every game, and you gotta learn from it.
Yeah.
And there's games that we should have won that we lost, and it's like, all right, how can we learn from this and turn this into a positive, so it can help us in the postseason? Because we played every game to win it, but some days you just don't make the right plays down the stretch.
You
and
can learn lessons from the regular season.
You can learn
too,
lessons,
that it's over.
But also, we're Louisville. Like we have the best team in the country by far. We're coming off of 4. We're getting everybody's best game.
Yeah.
When they come in the Yum Center, we're getting the best game. And then when we go on the road, everybody wants to storm us.
Sure.
When we lost 3 straight games, we got stormed 2 games in a row.
Yeah, was it Providence or something where like the score got so outrageous where it was like, what is going on with these guys?
Oh wait, you talk about like on a L?
Yeah, like y'all lost a few games in a row, I think, and then the Notre Dame game happens.
Yeah.
Overtime. Crazy.
Yeah.
And then you never lose again.
We never lose again. Right. Yep. Because one game, what was it? We lost Syracuse at the end, and then Villanova beat us. We feel like we gave Syracuse that game, but Villanova beat us.
Yeah.
And then Georgetown beat us. And then Notre Dame was, I guess you could call it the luck of the Irish.
Yeah. And I've been in that place before when it just feels like everything's going that way. But no, that was cool. We were watching that game at like Betty Johnson or something.
Okay, that's
thinking
fun.
like we were supposed to go to a bar, and you all just kept playing.
It's like, what the hell is going on?
And then it got to the end, and it was like, I'm kind of sad. I'm just gonna go home.
Yeah.
I just went to war. I feel like I played.
Right.
And then it was all made up for with never losing again. The Big East tournament game, I don't know what you remember about that. The championship with it being down, and I think it was like Sutherland for Syracuse. Hit all those threes, and
we were actually in halftime, cool as ice, man. We were actually chill. We were just like, how is this happening? Like, we didn't understand it, and then we were just trying to figure it out. Like, nobody said nothing. We just looked at each other, and then we were like, all right, like, I guess we gotta turn it on, But
no, it wasn't. They were literally just burying everything they shot. And
right.
The zone, like the dissecting of the zone, was just like abusive in the second half.
Mm-hmm.
And Gorgie to Trez and like just playing on the baseline. And I think Kevin Ware hit a huge 3 down the stretch there. But no, that was really fun. And then you go into the tournament, obviously, and it was like NCAA, and then you play Colorado State, and you're kind of rolling through it.
Right.
And then you get to the Final Four, and I guess got to talk about the Duke stuff. So the Kevin Ware stuff happens. I know it's kind of it's talked about almost too much, with the championship thing, because like people forget all the whole year, right? And then that happens, and now it's like that's the story. The win for Ware shirts everywhere in the crowd. And what was that day like? Because you go to the Final Four, you beat a great Duke team,
right?
Seth Curry and all these guys, and now you like your friend, I'm sure, your teammate. One of the craziest sports injuries of all time.
Yeah, that was crazy. Just for the simple fact that it was like, all right, it's another thing just added to the table, because there was a lot of guys were going through things. I know Peyton was going through things behind the scenes. Gorgie was. Luke was with his dad, or his pops. I was going through something with my high school coach was passed away. Everybody was going through something, and I really think Coach P did a good job of managing everybody's emotions.
Sure.
And we made it about, we had to make it about the team somehow, right? And Ware was a part of us, Kevin's a part of us, and I think that was a really good way to bring us all together, instead of us feeling like we lost someone.
Yeah.
You know, because we lost Ware. You know, we lost them for the tournament, but at least we can come together and try and, win it for him and make him feel part of the unit. I think that was very important for us, our camaraderie, and for him.
That is one of the coolest sports stories of all time.
Yeah.
I think anytime you talk about that team, you remember it, and you see the pictures of him on the sideline, and obviously you all after. And I just last thing on that year, the championship game, you're struggling from the floor a little bit, right? Spike Albrecht comes out of nowhere. Kind of
going crazy.
Sutherland was like actually a stud for Syracuse. But
yeah.
This dude is like, you look like one of those grad assistants we were and now you're out here burying threes. You talked about halftime against Syracuse. What's halftime like after Siva throws that alley-oop to Trez, and it's like all of our worst fears are now gone?
It was crazy because before the game, I remember we normally scout everybody.
Yeah.
Like we scout. We'll scout your mother. We'll scout your family, your friends. We scout everything. That game, I remember we never scouted Spike.
Yeah.
And like guys can hoop if you give them the opportunity to perform. So when he started going off, it's like, all right, he probably was waiting for this moment. This was his.
He's getting some open looks.
Yeah, he was getting some open looks. He got into a rhythm, and with all of the how you call it, the adrenaline, and your game goes to another level. He's a good player. So at halftime, we were just like, all right, we're back in it. It's even Stevens. Now let's try and win the game while it's score 0-0.
Right.
And for me, I'm like, damn, I'm over. And you always go through this as a player. You're like, all right, would you rather win the championship, scoring 0 points, or would you lose the game scoring 40 points or 50 points? Every athlete goes through some sort of dilemma like that.
Right.
And it was one of those games for me where it was like, all right, it's going to take me scoring 0 points to win.
Yeah.
And it's all going to be worth it.
Yeah, and I mean, it obviously was. The second half's crazy. And it makes sense that Spike Albrecht is not scouted, right? I mean, Trey Burke, lottery pick point guard on their team.
And Trey Burke was averaging like 39 minutes per game. So it's like, all right, that's it. That's the person we gotta look at. Yeah,
he hits a crazy shot against, I think it was Kansas. To actually get there. And yeah, no, that's super fair. Why would they want to take him off the floor? And then you get that. I think he got a couple fouls or something.
Yeah, 3 fouls, I think, in the first half, or 2 fouls in like the first 3 minutes. It was crazy.
And it's Stauskas and stuff too. But that was. I think everybody in Louisville will remember where they were for that forever. We stormed campus, running around everywhere.
It was crazy. I wish I was
tear
there
gassed. You don't want to be tear gassed. But other than that, completely worth it. And so you go through that offseason, and then 2014 comes, and you're kind of on a new. Peyton's gone, so it's your team. You have Rozier and Trez and Strong, obviously. What's that year like? And I want to hear about the Cincinnati shot.
Yeah, it was hard. It was hard, man, because this was the first year where I don't want to say I had something to lose, but I wasn't playing with the house money anymore. Because from a leadership standpoint, like, I'm coming back, I'm first team this, I'm first team that, I'm this player of the year, and I'm on all these magazines. And now this is like literally peak Russ Ridiculous. I was Russ Ridiculous my sophomore year, but now this is literally peak.
Worldwide.
Yeah, now it's peak. Like, I'm going into just
the SI cover, was that with Randall?
That was with Randall. Yep. So it's chaos. So everywhere I'm going, it's wild, and so now I have to lead a bunch of young guys and then a new transfer. And I was hard. I kind of had to lean on Luke for a lot of stuff, and I leaned on Trez a lot. Because I'm a leader, but, I'm not Peyton.
Sure.
Peyton, he's the captain of the boat, him and Gorgie. And then Luke was another captain as well. And my game just thrived being around those guys. But the Cincy shot was wild because the year before that, when there was a time to make a game-winning shot, I shot the damn thing every time. Yeah. Right? No pass.
Right.
So I remember Coach P, after he calmed down from the Notre Dame game, he was like, listen, son, you gotta make one pass when the game is on the line, at least one pass, and then the ball if you're a good player, the ball should find you. And I made the one pass to Rozier, and then Terry.
He goes up in there. It looks like he's gonna shoot. Kicks it back to you.
We're back, and then I knocked it down. And that's how it's supposed to go. And story well written. We lock in the number 1 seed, and then we get the victory, and then I get most valuable player of the conference. So it was a good trade-off.
The rare ACC year, the AAC.
Yeah, the rare year.
Yeah, and I was in the house for the Kentucky Sweet 16 game. We don't have to talk about that. That hurt just about as bad as ever. But the dude made a shot. So like when you look at the TBT, right? I remember. So this tournament came out a long time ago, and it just recently kind of ESPN, they even put gambling lines on it on FanDuel and everything now. It's a big deal. It's got a TV deal, so that's kind of how you know. And I remember the first year I was like, this is a cool idea, and I went and found if there's a Louisville player playing, and there was 2, and it was Preston Knowles and Terrence Williams, right? PK goes out there, he plays, and T-Will, I'm like watching it on like some weird stream on my phone, and they're like, Terrence Williams is supposed to be here, and he just didn't come or something like that. And I was like, oh, maybe this tournament isn't like super legit.
Right.
Seeing it grow with all these alumni teams. Notre Dame's always out there, Ohio State, Wichita State. There's all these like different armies to an extent out there, and you guys, it's always seemed like Louisville would be a great school to have one.
Yeah.
How did it come together?
No, it's I think the TBT's it's a really an excellent tournament, and I think for some guys, because the timing is rough, but it's a really great concept, and I think more collegiate teams should try and get their guys together to participate together, because you don't know when you're going to stop playing basketball. And it's always good to team up with guys you've played with before. Now, how did this come about? I remember last year, the kid, I don't want to say kid, the gentleman.
Otto, I think. Otto, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to and that's a special shout out to him, because I think he was the one that started this, but it just wasn't right, the timing of it all and the players of it all. And he really did a great job, and he needs more credit for trying to organize everybody, because he almost had it, like he really did. And so this year, I feel like incentive wise and timeline wise, it worked out for a lot of the people who signed up for it. Sure. And I think that for us to get some guys back together and playing, and I think it was just, we wanted to be together, our core, and one last time, or maybe the next couple times, who knows. And we get a chance to hoop with one another. I know some other players may have some commitments, but to get a nice core group of a championship team is a pretty good feat.
Yeah, it's a cool opportunity too.
Yeah,
I'm sure you've been dying to get back out there with Peyton Sivo since the last day.
Yeah, just Freedom Hall too, man. Like, I've never played in Freedom Hall, so it's like
crazy to think about.
I would love to see it sold out.
It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I want to see it sold out 20,000. Like, I seen the Yum 20,000 deep. I want to see Freedom Hall 20,000 deep. So I think that's really good.
Oh, it's going to be crazy in there. I know everybody I've talked to is like, they're looking forward to that more than they are to the first few.
Right, yeah.
For the nostalgia and everything. And obviously, Russ Smith, Peyton Siva, Shane Bohannon, Wayne Blackshear. I saw that Chris Dow signing today.
That is a huge signing. Like, I don't know if people.
Nice, yeah.
I don't think people realize how big that is. Like, that's you like, whoever's doing this GM and roster stuff, they're taking this pretty seriously. After Nanu and then Chris Dow, those are two crazy signs.
Yeah, especially with everybody still playing recently.
Oh my God,
like, that stuff you could tell when a guy goes out there and it's like, you haven't played basketball in 4 years. I know your name, but like, this isn't.
And Dow's good. Like, Dow is a great player. Like, he could have
legend.
Yeah, but and besides Bellarmine, like, this guy could have been high major D1 easy. Like, he could have played with us on our team easy. Yeah. Like, he's that good.
Yeah, no, I'm sure he popped out. Do you know who your coach is for that yet?
For his coach or our coach?
No,
now?
like your coach for
our
TBT.
coach now is It's Lieberman, Mark Lieberman.
Okay, gotcha. And I don't know. I was wondering like how it's like if you're on like I'm sure you played like at Mid America every now and then, like you go hoop in like a random league game just because you want to get a run in, and it's like how do you control like playing time? That's what makes it so complicated.
Right, and that's gonna be interesting. But our guys, some of our guys are removed enough to where minutes is not a thing, and obviously we all play to win. But just the nostalgia of the fans coming out, the support. We're 10 years removed, and we're all going into next season. The coaching staff, everybody knows that. So just coming out and showing the best face we can, playing as hard as we can, staying healthy, and seeing if we can take home $1 million. I think it'll be fun.
No, yeah, it should be, and I mean that place is going to be packed. Tickets are available for that right now.
You gotta go get your tickets, man, because like honestly, you don't want to wait till the last minute and now you in a seat that you don't want to sit in, and you paying way more that you don't want to. Because you're gonna have to pay for them, and because you're gonna want to be in there.
No, it's gonna happen. Like people, even people that don't know about it yet, that aren't like on Instagram or Twitter, and see, like they're going to hear about it in multiple different ways, either from a friend of a friend or see it on the news. Like it is a dream. Like I think that was the worst part about when 2013 ended is like we don't get to see these guys play together anymore.
Ever, yeah.
And then a decade later, it's like, okay, Freedom Hall. I know where that is.
Yeah, right. Hell yeah.
It's going to be cool. So more on the Bourbon. June 19th to July 23rd.
Yep.
The Liquor Barn Tour. Is that kind of like a meet and greet for fans as well?
Absolutely. Like you come, you get your bottle signed. You could get some. I think they're gonna have some of the locations. There'll be some samples in there. You can come there. You can pour up. But yeah, so definitely get your bottle signed, and I'm also releasing my 3 new labels with the brand. I'm putting out my Rise. I haven't put out a Rye yet, so releasing my Rise, and I loved my my red and my green label so much at 122 and 110 proof. I had to put out the 100 proof I released that under the oak tree, and so you come out and. We can see each other.
Yeah, meet Russ Smith, and I think good chance you really like what you buy.
The juice is definitely top notch for sure. The juice is definitely top notch.
We gonna drink some?
Yeah,
I'm down. Yeah,
you're down. You want to pour up? Yeah, I'm gonna pour up. I didn't know we could pour up on the camera, but what kind of person are you like? So I can.
I'll try whatever you got.
My favorite. Here's what I've been tearing up. I've been tearing up this red label.
Okay.
I've been tearing up this red label.
Yeah,
so
I like it. No, this is some good advertisement here.
Nah, yeah, you gonna. I mean, the red label's weed and it's 122 is cash strength. So you can sip on that, and I think I'm probably gonna pour up my rye, my 90 rye. Yeah, but I don't know what. Oh damn.
That packs a nice smooth punch.
Oh yeah, that's what it's gonna do. That's exactly what it's gonna do.
So, Mr. and Mrs. Bourbon on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Mr. and Miss Bourbon Co.
Co. On
okay.
Yep.
And that's where you're kind of letting people know this is what's coming, this is where we are.
Yeah, yep. And we just launched it because now we're starting going full on touring and letting people know what's going on, and that's the page to follow up and see what we got going on.
Where just a few spots around the city, where can you get this at?
In restaurants, I know we're in Ruth Chris,
nice.
We're in Bar Vetty, we're in Morton's, we're working into Ruby's, we're here in O'Shea's, we're moving into the Omni. Like we've been doing tastings since I've landed from Italy. So we're about I guess 40 restaurants so far, and across the state of Kentucky, and moving into Southern Ohio and the Cincinnati area.
Coming right along.
Oh yeah.
And I have a friend who's really, really into this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You go in his basement, and he's got TVs everywhere, and he's got a collection of bottles. And people that don't drink a lot of bourbon may be like, I bet all those taste the same. You know, like how it's a basic thought. I'm
Yeah.
sure that makes you cringe more than anything in the world.
It was the thought used to cross my mind when I first started. I was like, yo, all this tastes the same, you
Sure.
know. And then the more and more you get into it, it's like, damn, all this is really different.
Yeah.
Low key, it's really different. And then what was wild, what really opened my palate was when you trying to bring something to market and you're like, this person likes that person likes that. Cause I got it all out where it's like 12 different samples, and each person is liking a different one. So now I got to pick between that, and it's like, why did this person like that? I got them taking notes, doing the whole 9 yards, like, and it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's proof that they are all different. Would you mind like telling the listeners like what all do you have right now?
Oh, absolutely. So we got our blue label. It's I would say, I always say this, right? It's the easiest affordable one at $45 to $50 retail.
Okay.
And I don't want to say it's our generic one because it sounds boring, right? Yeah. But this is the most accessible. But what I like about this is that when I did the tasting for my blue label, I wanted a bourbon that could resonate with people who don't drink bourbon.
Okay.
So what I was going for was dark tequila drinkers, cognac drinkers, and those were the people that kind of picked this label out.
Yeah.
And so the nose on it is very pretty, it's very smooth, and it's very floral. Sure. on the finish and up front, much like a dark tequila and a cognac. Okay. So I think my 90 proof blue label is best for people entering bourbon, and for also bourbon drinkers that want something just smooth and light. Yeah. Then the next 3 labels, I got green, and red for my face labels. These are my weeded products along with my white label. My red label at 122 proof, we shaved that down to 110, okay. And then we also shaved it down to 100 proof. I like this barrel and mash bill so much that I had to, make extra spawns of it.
Yeah. No, it's
and it's weeded, so I got a weeded 110 and a weeded 100, and then I got 2 ryes over there. Okay. That rye's a 90. I'm a big fan of the sweetness and the fruity flavors, and my rye definitely does that, and is not spicy or peppery like some other ryes. Yeah. And my 125 to 126 proof single barrel family selection is an ultimate like brown sugar bomb. It's amazing, and with an amazing finish. Just overall, like it's probably one of my favorite ones. But I'm a high proof guy, so.
I mean, this is one of the best like sales jobs I've ever heard. I just want to tell you, like, you're going through all these. Like, I don't know if anybody see it. He's looking at the back, just every single one, like 3 paragraphs on. It's impressive stuff.
This is what I do. Like, that's what's crazy. Like, I can sit here and go, and I'm trying to long story short it. Right. Like I can talk about this for this is. I literally made it, so it's like, all right.
No, it's cool. And to hear, because I was, Kevin O'Shea told me about this a year or 2 ago, mm-hmm. Right? Russ Smith's got his own bourbon. We're going to get it in the bar. Oh, cool. And to hear, like, how hands-on you are with it. Oh, man. That is, not say it's, like, surprising or anything, because I know, you're a hardworking dude, obviously.
Yeah, but it is really, like.
A lot of people, like we talked about, they just throw their name on something. And you probably can sell stuff that way, especially around here with the way Russ Smith kind of rings a bell. But, yeah, I mean.
I'm a octopus when it comes to being hands-on. Like, I'm just all over it. Like I told you, wet, dry goods, supply chain, marketing, design, tasting, anything you could think of. Like just meeting people, P&R, whatever it is. Like I'm a part of it, and I think that's important. Like the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And when I hoop, when I play basketball, I like to be all over everything. I like to score. I like to steal the ball. I like to get assists. I like to rebound, play defense, whatever it is. And I think I try to just take that approach to whatever I do.
I like that. It's an awesome quote. The way you do anything is the way you do everything. That is cool. And and that's good that you said that too, because I know there's people out there that probably think you don't like to get assists.
I like to drop it off and make you look good. Like I drop it off.
They see those 100-point stat lines. They're like, what? How's that happen? No, it's awesome, man. It's really cool. And Mr. and Mrs. Bourbon, the bourbon that Russ Smith created and loves. Mm-hmm. Fair to say. Anything else about all this?
Man,
sure there is.
Yeah, we're coming out. Well, the Oak Tree labels release and drop on the 19th, and so far we don't have no more new labels. What we'll do is we'll increase the age statement. So maybe I'll put an 8-year product out of my green label or a 10-year product out of my red label. Who knows?
Yeah.
But right now this is going to be the foundation of the company. Our blue label will put out higher, more aged juice from that, and you guys collect, save, and hoard, and it's the name of the game.
Yeah, and obviously month-long Liquor Barn tour coming up for you, starting next week, right?
Mm-hmm.
When's the first date, first location?
First location, we're in Springhurst, correct? I think we're in Town Center.
Okay.
Town Center location.
Right.
And then we're just moving through. But we got 3 Louisville sites, if I'm not mistaken. 3 Louisville sites. We got 2 Lexington sites. We go to Orangeburg twice. We in Danville. We go to Bowling Green. So we hitting everybody up.
Yeah. No, and I even I saw it on the news the other day too.
Oh,
so
nice.
You're doing a good job of getting that out there in general. I think it was WLKY that had it just a quick little 30-second pop up with all the dates and locations. So.
Yeah, I gotta move around. The first 2 years, the marketing was all really organic and through my social media platforms, word of mouth, through the industry. That's what I attacked first, and it's done really well through that. So now finally being able to get out and meet the people who've supported me and are bourbon enthusiasts, that's going to be great.
Yeah, no, very cool. And obviously this is through Liquor Barn. So say somebody listens to this and they're like, I want to support this right now. Is Liquor Barn the best bet to be able to get something and take it home?
Yeah, go there right now, immediately. There's a bunch of Liquor Barns in this state. Go to Liquor Barn right now. Go grab it. And then also was not being shown here, I have a black label, a 12-year product, and then a black label 13-year product, and that's finished in Cabernet. Liquor Barn got that behind the glass case.
Awesome.
So if you feeling like you want to spend a little more money, you can treat yourself to a 12 or 13-year whiskey finished in Cabernet. I got that too.
That's sweet. Awesome. Well, now everybody knows where to go. No excuses anymore. I thoroughly enjoyed.
Oh, you smashed
this
out.
Experience. Yeah. I'm already done.
That's what it's about, the experience.
Yeah.
I'm happy you experienced.
No, it's been wonderful. I did want to ask what. You've probably, I would assume, been around the program a little bit, right? Over the last couple of years, probably obviously not as much as when you were playing.
Yep.
What are Russ Smith's thoughts about Kenny Payne and where the program's going?
Man, you know what? It's I feel like Kenny, Coach KP has gotten a bad, I don't want to say a bad rap, but people are really, really hard on him, and I'm gonna explain why, right? Like Louisville has I would say a top 7 program in the country, amongst Duke, UCLA, North Carolina. I think we're top 7. College basketball has changed.
Yeah.
This isn't what it was 5 years ago, 4 years ago. This is a totally different era of basketball. So now we have to start over, right? We have to start over with a clean slate. I mean, what's going on with NIL and what's going on with kids choosing money over school tradition, over school legacy, over the opportunity to play for an amazing staff. Down the line, KP, Nolan, Milt, Danny Manning, how do you, if I'm 10 years ago, right, how do you turn that staff down from a learning standpoint and an improving standpoint? So now you come here, and also, to be fair, this is KP's first year coaching, right? Which isn't an excuse, but it is what it is.
Right.
So, and then your first year, you get handed a team with a bunch of guys who's never really, they've never really won anything before.
Sure.
So these guys are still trying to figure it out. These guys are still young. Some of these guys have had 2 or 3 coaches, and I just think once Kenny gets more organized, gets guys in here that he wants, he needs a chance to try to keep guys for 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Let him try to build his system out because once you get rid of a coach and you bring another coach, now it's a new system.
Yeah.
Now you're back at square one. Coaches need time to build out their system and have some sort of stability. And I'm with the new talent. I'm excited with what they have coming in, and with guys coming in, future talent. I think they need to really consider not coming here for NIL, because KP has helped make players hundreds of millions of dollars. Like, what is making $100,000 or $200,000 right now gonna do in the grand scheme of things?
Sure.
Like, you have a chance to play for an amazing staff and make $50 million,
Yeah.
$20 million a year, make contacts, not for now but for life. You know, you play here 1 year, then you transfer. Like, it's like. Then what happens when you become a pro? Yeah, there's going to be a market correction for all of these players, because after college, after you didn't major NIL, and you're the man, you're the man, and
Sure.
you got some money. What happens next? You go overseas, and because you're not going to make that amount. You're not going to make the $200K that you're asking for, or the $400K that you may be getting. How much do you really love this game? How much do you really want to improve? And I think that with this staff here at Louisville, is one of the best staffs, and I feel like Kenny needs a chance to build out his program in this new era of basketball. You guys here obviously used to Denny and Rick, but these guys had 10 plus years to build it out with guys that stayed within the program. That's how I got better. It was Preston Knowles, and then it was Payne, and it was me, and then you get Rozier with Chris Jones, then you get Donovan. That's how this thing goes.
Right.
But this day and age, one player doesn't like it, he transfers. So who's there to teach the next guy how things are done?
Who knows how different our Louisville story would be from 2011 to 2018 if it was like that now.
Yes.
Or
right.
like that then as it is now. And you probably would have made some money in NIL.
I probably would have made money going into my senior year, but I probably wouldn't have been me. There probably wouldn't have been no chance.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Because somebody transfers in, for money.
Yeah.
Or maybe I transfer out. Like, who knows? Because, so it's like this new era of basketball is so unfair, and and Kenny is such a great dude. He's one of those guys that really connects with the players.
Yeah.
And you need that in coaching. You need guys that are there for you, that has your best interest, that wants you to succeed in the long run. Not for right now. You can throw anybody $100,000 or $150,000 and get their ear, but can you teach a man how to fish?
Sure.
And that's what Kenny's doing. It might not result to wins right now, but for these young men, it's a lifelong lesson, and I hope I hit it on the head, about what's going on.
I hope you did too. And it's a really cool answer too, and the perspective on the NIL thing coming from you, because you're a great example of that. You were larger than life here for 2 years, and it's like you still saying yeah, well, that may not have happened to me if it were for NIL, instead of being yeah, you're right, I would have made millions. We're only a college basketball market, right? It's a really cool point.
Yeah, because it's I'm under Rick Pitino, and as soon as that guy started calling me Russ Ridiculous and told the world he loves me, and it was over. It was, because he's a national icon, and then that followed me everywhere we played at. Coaches is coaching, and everybody, where's Russ Ridiculous? Where's the horse? And because I had a horse in college.
Yeah, I forgot about
that. So if there's anybody that understands what it's like on a national level, I'm one of those college players but I don't come off as it because I do my own thing, but that's the way it was for me for 2.5 years. It was nuts. So when I see guys, I'm like, he's making that for NIL.
This stuff's crazy.
It's crazy, but it's all right, what's going to happen long term, and will there be a market correction, and will the market correction come while they're in school, or will it come after school?
Yeah.
And how hard will that lesson learned be?
Yeah.
And we'll just have to wait and see. But I know KP's recruiting guys that want to be here, and hopefully these guys stay, embrace the system, embrace the struggle, embrace the turmoil, and then turn it in a positive, but not for now, but for later.
I'm more sold on it than I ever have been. It's a cool perspective, and I think you can't judge anything off 1 year
Right.
with any. If every player that ever did that at Louisville, we wouldn't have the success that we do have.
Now, 4 wins, don't get me wrong,
Bad. Not good.
Not
Yeah.
good. And that's the elephant in the room. Like, I'm not going to sit here and go, 4 wins is all good.
Yeah.
No, 4 wins is the elephant in the room.
Sure.
Where it's like, but there were some games that I feel like we had it. And, if maybe things would have been a little bit different if, a game or two goes another way. But there's certain things at this program where it's like, hey guys, we can't lose to this team.
Yeah.
No matter what no matter what it is.
What
like,
we have out there.
no matter what we have out
it's not
there,
happening.
we can't do that. And I think that because some of those guys need to understand that too. Like, so it's a give and a take. Like, I'm not going to sit here and deflect, for the guys out there performing, because I have a high standard of basketball, and it's like, this team, we need to beat this team by 20. No matter what you going through off the court, no matter what you're doing at home. I don't care if you got enough sleep.
It's happening.
Yeah,
we're Louisville.
We're Louisville.
Yeah.
We need to win this game by 20. Let's stop playing around.
Yeah.
So we'll see, man.
Yeah, I have high hopes. It can't be worse. You would say.
Can't be worse.
So, yeah, and I'll leave you with this before we do like one last bourbon promotion. Rick Pitino at St. John's. Are you excited? What are your thoughts?
Listen, man. We talked about like NIL and college. This right now is his field house because all this chaos is his field house, and I'll tell you why. He will find guys like Montrez and me, and he will be fine. Yeah. Like, he will find guys that don't need the money, that just want to play for him, and he'll get them to play hard and stay and win games. And with Rick, the way he motivates and coaches is much different. Like, he has a system, but it's a underdog system. It's like a hungry, thirsty system, and you want to play for it and you want to perform at your best when you play for him. And being in New York, come on, you gonna give up? It gets no better than that.
He's already started, like, we need to play every home game at Madison
at
Square
the Garden. You
Yeah.
know what's going to happen. Yeah, and Rick going to pop it off over there. But I'm just very happy for him, and I know he's always wanted to coach there, and it's a really good situation.
It's great to see him back. And I mean, he was awesome at Iona too. It seemed like
Great.
In the tournament every single year, and that's something where you basically have to win your conference tournament.
To
Everything
get
you
in.
do relies on 4 random games, whether you're going to play in the big dance or not.
And you look at the guys he had at Iona. He's developing guys and he's putting guys in situations to be great. And the only thing he asks for is effort. That's the only thing I'm asking for is effort on defense. If you can give me effort on defense, then we'll have a shot at every game. And that's and we can use that as an example for the guys here. The only thing you need is effort on defense to win games, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, that's what made your all's teams so great back in the day. The full court press, the intensity, nonstop. What's next for you, basketball wise? Obviously, with the TBT coming up. I know you're just playing in Italy. Do you know what you're doing after the TBT yet?
So since I'm healthy, it's the first summer I'm back healthy in a while. So normally my wheelhouse is China. I've been over there for half of my career, and I'm assuming that now that I'm healthy, I'll get a phone call and there's a chance I could be in China. But I had such a great year in Europe. The basketball guys that played in A2 or know of A2, the league that I was in, will tell you that what I did was really, really impressive. I led Italy in scoring at 25 a game, 28 in the playoffs, and we basically, overperformed and overachieved. And who knows, I can be in Europe next year, and we'll just wait and see.
It makes sense. If one thing that comes to mind when you think about Russ Smith, it's like gone, unstoppable. It makes sense that you're going to be able to score wherever you go. So
I have some really good teammates that pass me the ball, man. So if my job is to make shots when I'm open, then that's a pretty good feat.
You've always been great at your job, Russ. We'll wrap this up. Bourbon Tour coming up, Liquor Barn, June 19th to July 23rd, all over Kentucky, going
all
everywhere,
over.
right? Twitter, IG, Mr. and Mrs. Bourbon Co.
Yep.
You can find them there. And literally, if you want to buy this anytime soon, Liquor Barn has it ready immediately, right?
Liquor Barn has it immediately, readily available, and then all of the other big retails, so Evergreens, Cox's, Total Wine. So, like, yeah, we're serious.
Cool. Yeah, rightfully so.
We're serious.
I tried it. This stuff's great. And TBT coming late July, Freedom Hall. I think the first game's Monday, the 27th, something like that.
The 25th, the 27th, and 29th. Yep.
25th, 27th, 29th. Let's pack that place.
Yeah, I mean, y'all gotta get it's Freedom Hall. Like one of the reasons I'm playing is because it's in Freedom Hall. Like, so
a legendary spot, and the crowd's gonna be great. The team's gonna be great. So no, it's gonna be a blast. And Russ, like I said at the beginning, you've done so much for this city, and as somebody who's, when you're younger, your mood completely depends on guys that you never met making basketball shots, and that was me. And you helped my mood a lot. I'm eternally grateful for what you were able to do out there for the city and everything.
I appreciate you having me, Will.
No, it's been a blessing, and we'll see you all at Liquor Barn, I guess. But Russ, I appreciate it, man.
Absolutely, thank you.
Thank you.